Okay, episode 2.
Episode 2.
Ready to go?
Ready to go, mate. Do you know what? Once again, I feel like we found ourselves, luckily, at a good time because there's so much going on. Obviously, this week, you got Ryan Garcia, Barios, Warrington 2. And then obviously we just had the press conference for Tyson Fury and Makhmudov, which I don't know why. Well, I do know why everyone expected it to catch light because it's Tyson Fury. And any moments in there was because of Tyson Fury. Because with Makhmudov, don't get me wrong, he looks scary. I know he's got some of them showreel knockouts and stuff. But if you're going to do a press conference, you might as well have the opponent as that mug of coffee because he ain't going to say no. He just sits there like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's not going to say much.
Which is a weird one because, look, I think in my head when I watch a press conference like that and you're on this platform, you don't want to. I get it. You don't want to sell. You don't want to sell out at all. You don't want. If it's not in your character, I understand. But this kind of is your opportunity because not in a horrible way. Don't you find? I find this as well. You've got a whole list of heavyweights who have built their, not just heavyweights, boxers in general, but particularly heavyweights, who have built their careers off of losing. And let me explain this. Like Andy Ruiz, he's Andy Ruiz because he beat AJ, but then he lost to him. But then Charles Martin, even like people like Dominic Brazil, people like they're in our ether and known because they've lost to someone like an AJ.
Well, I think especially the UK fans, we are very aware of certain fighters because they lost to our guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Like for example, who was it? It's completely gone out of my head. But someone was talking about a fighter and they were like, "Oh, he's perfect," because the UK fighters will know him because he lost to this person, and the Americans will know him because he fought on that channel in America, and it's like, oh, so we know him because he lost.
Which is hilarious. Like even like a Joseph Parker, right? He lost to, and this is what I mean about Makhmudov. I know you're not Joe Parker, right? But he lost to AJ. Then he's really good friends with Fury. So within UK fans, you listen to all recently as well, like Shakur Stevenson, all of them talk about, yeah, man, I'd love to come over to the UK. Even Wilder when he was like, yeah, it's good to be back because UK fight fans are like we're so invested in the fighters.
Yeah.
So when I was looking at Makhmudov, I'm like, look, especially after that sort of that run with Dave Allen and winning the fight and stuff, you're very known to UK fans, like UK boxing fans. In my opinion, this is your opportunity to kind of, like I said, not sell out. Even if it was to give more respect, just speak, just do something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I've kind of felt sorry for him. Not sorry, I didn't feel sorry for him. But basically, he barely said much when he was at the top table. And then the most he said was when he come down that he spoke to Anna Woolhouse and Froch was there and Lennox Lewis was there. And he was kind of like just idolising Lennox, which I get. He was talking about a time when he was introduced to him years ago. And he was talking about a time where he was introduced to Tyson years ago. And it was he felt like a fan.
Yeah.
He really felt like a fan. And I was like, oh.
Which is funny because I can kind of, not in a weird way, you can kind of understand it from Makhmudov's perspective. Like, because in my opinion, I don't think the term, well, it's heavyweight boxing has ever applied more than in this fight. Anything can happen, I get it. Like, Tyson's, 37 now, which I know people reference that like he's about to pull up on a Zimmer frame. Like, it's not that old, but, depending on how you've been living the life and all this stuff, whatever. But I really don't think Makhmudov has a chance in this fight. Like, I know it's kind of being sensationalised a little bit. And it's like, look, anything can happen. And look, if I'm wrong, clip this. And, in a couple months when the fight happens and if he gets ironed out, you can post this after. But, I was wrong. But I just really don't think Makhmudov's got a chance. I really, really don't. Like, I'm just being honest. I think there is this case of, he's a big puncher and he's big and he's bigger than what? Definitely, because I saw someone saying he's 6'4", 6'5". He's got to be bigger than 6'4", 6'5".
You know what I think it is? I think Makhmudov is bigger than he says, and I think Tyson isn't as big as he says.
Yeah, he's no way he's 6'9".
They're meeting in the middle, 100%.
They're both a good 6'6", and they're in there together.
One's 6'4", the other one's 6'9", but they're basically the same height when standing next to each other. No,
it doesn't make any sense. So that's the only thing for me. I was like, I just wanted a bit more from Makhmudov. I think when John Fury tried to attack Cole Froch is the main talking point of the press conference. Do you know what I mean? Which I think is funny because, again, as fight fans, I think we all know, like, you really know it, and we kind of touched on it in episode 1 when we spoke about Joel Pataya. We all know, 9 times out of 10, when boxers sit there and they say certain things, yeah, there's truth to it, but there's an essence of showmanship. There's an essence of, I'm selling this fight, this is my job. I'm going to say that. I'm going to knock you out. You're going to knock me out. Like, one of the only fighters I've ever felt where I've either been there, watched him, or interviewed. I'm like, you mean every word. Is Joe Appetite, and it's like it's intimidating when you can feel that, right?
Yeah.
Like, geez, like this guy means it. So when fight fans get annoyed at,
oh, that's my phone.
yes, I was like, which one of us is it? Please don't be me. Please don't be.
It's one of us, and it's me. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Keep
Go
going.
on. So when fight fans get annoyed about John Fury, I always find it a little bit odd because I'm like, you understand that no one can operate on that level 24/7. There's an essence of John Fury that's probably like, oh, I'll kick off and I'll have a go. But he doesn't, no one can walk around like that 24/7. He doesn't walk around like 24/7. And there is an essence of showmanship to it. So I guess you kind of got to take it like, not to compare it to WWE, but you sort of just got to take the soap opera for what it is.
But you know what? I think that's probably the best way to explain it because I've tried to understand it myself. Is he trying to sell the fight? He doesn't need to do that. Tyson is one of the
Tyson
biggest
will do
faces in boxing. He's
true.
going to do that. So what is he doing it for? And I just think we're never going to really understand why he's doing it. So you just got to accept it, just go with it. What I did think was, this is huge. Boxing on Netflix is massive. Carl Froch has landed this huge gig on Netflix.
Yeah, no, I felt sorry for him in that
And
one.
then you've got John Fury running around like, and I guarantee, like anyone that knows boxing, anyone that has ever met Carl Froch will know he could not care less.
Yeah, he's just not.
He's not scared at all in any way, shape, or form. So he's probably thinking, right, I've got to be professional here because I just landed this gig on Netflix. It's huge, and he's kind of thinking, how do I play this? I felt a bit sorry for him, to be honest.
It's a weird one to try and play off as well because you go. I saw some people like, yeah, like Netflix. It's an entertainment. It is an entertainment platform, and this is what they want. I'm like, yeah, but is that what you want? Because even though it is entertainment, there is a sense of you going, what's this 60-year-old geezer doing?
It was
running
weird.
It
was
going,
weird.
if you want it, we'll have it. And I'm like, when it was on Misfits, when he was doing it there, and it was KSI, and he's headbutting glass, and he's screaming at Darren Till and flipping tables, because the entire event is like that. I feel like it does add to it. Like if whether you like it or not, it adds to it. When you've got people in Anna Wallhouse standing there, you know, like the most professional person ever, and then in the background is John Fury going, come on! It's like, I don't know, like it doesn't quite line up.
I think for the in-between fans, like you said, like hardcores like us, we're like, oh, it's John Fury. And then we'll watch the rest of the press conference. It's like water off a duck's back. We know what he's like.
Yeah.
And then the kind of fans who love the WWE style crazy stuff, they'll love that.
Yeah, it's true.
But then the in-between fans that also watch tennis and cricket are going to be like,
what is going on?
What is this, mate? No, thank you.
It gets confusing. And I think that's the weird one as well. Like, I find them press conferences an odd one because, look, as a hardcore fan, I'm interested. I do want to hear from the manager. I won't lie. Like, I mean, I'm kind of half. I'm like, well, you might as well. Like, while you're here, like, I'll watch every interview that's out there.
Yeah.
When Rick Reno starts talking and this and I'll go, oh god, and stop Mr. Versace. I'll listen to it. But I do think. But then I go, how many? Look, who is this press conference for? Like, how many non-hardcores go, guys, 5 p.m. Let me tune into the stream of a press. I don't know how many non-hardcores watch it.
You know what's weird? It's not on Netflix.
Yeah, wasn't it just on YouTube?
Yeah, I was confused because first of all I saw something come up on my Instagram from DAZN, and I was like, oh, DAZN. So then I went on to DAZN, but the actual presser wasn't on DAZN.
It's only
I went on to Netflix thinking, oh, okay, it'll be on Netflix, and it wasn't on Netflix. It was just on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I thought that's weird. It should definitely fine if it's on YouTube, fine, but it should definitely be on Netflix.
It is getting confusing, isn't it? It is getting really, really confusing because where it's like Queensberry are now exclusive to DAZN and they promote Tyson, but Tyson's not included in that exclusivity where AJ is included, and that's why it was difficult. I'm like, oh, like there's so many of these deals being signed here. That even like the way we was laughing, like I'm talking before about Boxer being exclusively to BBC, but now you can watch it on DAZN, but it's only if you're outside of that territory, but they'll still show results and then post it, and you're like, I don't know who's what where, and in a weird way, for fight fans, it kind of makes me go, okay, it's cool in the sense that it feels like there's a lot of cross-pollination and fights can be made. Like those obstacles that were there before, especially with like American fighters and stuff, felt like, stuff just, it's not even a point in, we all understood as hardcore fans, there's not even a point in talking about that because it's not even about the money or whether they want to fight or not. That those networks and those promoters just won't work together anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of come out a little bit, but then with Zuffa boxing, That's confused me
That's
even
coming.
more.
They're bringing it back.
They're bringing it back a bit, but then I saw that like Tiafimo was there, and I'm like, what are you planning to sign Tia? I'm like, there's all these weird
You've got to
things that
think
are popping
Tio's
up.
going to go with... Sorry, I know that wasn't on our schedule. To
Yeah,
talk
I
about,
know,
but
yeah,
you've
yeah.
got to think Tio's going to go with Zuffa.
Yeah, probably.
Because he doesn't get on with Golden Boy. Sorry,
No.
he doesn't get on with Top Rank.
Yeah,
Like, he's been saying that he wants to be free from Top Rank for ages. So, and now he's there at the Zuffa show. You've got to think that's where
it
it's
makes
going.
you look and it makes you question stuff, but you just don't know. You just don't know, and that's what I'm thinking at the moment. It's a really interesting time in boxing. I think it was the same way. I remember when the Zone first came in, however long it was now, and everyone was like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And it was like this weird fluctuation. Then it found this time, and then there was the battle still between Matchroom and Queensbury, and now we've had the Saudis and Riyadh season and Turkey come in, and there's been this big fluctuation, and then it kind of started to find its feet. Where if we look at some of the cards in like since the end of 23, right, which was with Fury and Ngannou, we have had a crazy couple years of things being made that people just said it would never happen.
We've been so spoiled.
Like, I know this. It goes when talks about a lot for certain reasons. But can we just like talk about the fact that Joe Parker and Dubois were meant to fight, and they're like, "Oh, Dubois out." So Bacoli, who at the time was like the ultimate boogie, like the ultimate. Like being able to get him in on short notice, such short notice that he gets in the ring wearing Dubois' gloves.
Yeah,
like
crazy.
Just madness. Like all this
That
kind of stuff
whole
just
show
happened.
was just mental. I was there for that show.
Was you?
And it was people were so hyped because you just knew that this show. The first fight was Liam Smith and Babatsu. First fight.
Yeah,
Most
that's
people
crazy,
weren't even sat down.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And
I remember that being, because I remember seeing it on the schedule, and maybe Eddie Hearn had done an interview, and he's like, Callum Smith's coming in, first fight of the night, and I thought, he's got that wrong, or maybe he means first fight on the broadcast, but they're only showing a few fights. I don't know, like maybe he's got that wrong. I was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
That's like
it was crazy.
And then that's there.
It was one of the best fights I've ever seen, and it was. I was so lucky that night because I had to go off and do things around the arena, but I managed to sit and watch that fight, and I was so glad because that was the best fight of the night. It was incredible. In my opinion, that was better than the main event. I know it's controversial, but
mate, big
unreal,
fight,
unreal,
big fight. So in terms of we see with Tyson Fury, right? I think obviously he was away, been training in Thailand, comes back. I think he looks how Tyson Fury looks. I don't think he looks any worse or any better. Or I think he just kind of looks how he normally does, right? Because I know. When I first saw him training out there, he had a bit of a derby on him, and I was like, how's he going to look? And I was like, it's Tyson. He seems cool. He's there, the jazzy suits, like he's from In-Betweeners. He's got the little Netflix tie and he's ready to go. I'm like, okay, cool. And he said the nice stuff about AJ, and which again, when I say makes me laugh, I always think people in the comments like, you see, he's the nicest guy. I'm like, no, nice guy, but I'm like, what else is he going to say? He's not going to go on and start bantering about AJ, is he? Like, it was an awful situation. Like, unless you're a complete arsehole, you're not going to say, you would say what you said. It puts life into perspective. He's right.
But also in my head, tell me if I'm wrong.
Go on.
And again, I mean, I don't know, I love AJ.
Mm.
And I've been devastated just thinking about where he must be at.
That whole situation.
That whole situation. But surely, looking at Tyson's comeback, surely the only reason you came back was for AJ. That is the fight.
Well, because this is what I kept saying, and we'll talk about Wood Warrington in a bit, right? Because we've got that fight this week, and in a weird way, obviously it's on a much smaller scale commercially, but it makes sense to me because I saw people saying, whoever loses that fight, they're done. I'm like, I think whoever wins or loses, it's done. Like this is their last big thing. I'm like, what you got? Like whoever wins, what are you going to do after one's 35, one's 37?
It's a goodbye fight.
And you're both giving fans incredible fights, incredible memories, and of course more talented than 99.999% of people ever put on a pair of gloves. But you're not what you was 4 or 5 years ago, and that's fair. That's just life. That's just father time.
But it's like the Khan and Kell Brook fight.
Exactly.
We waited for how many years for that fight?
Exactly.
We got it. Over a decade late, but we got it.
You got it, but then when you do get it. It wasn't like we didn't. I know Kell Brook is fighting again, and but what I mean is that it's not in the sense of, all right, so what's the plan back to a world? It wasn't that kind of thing, and that's what I'm trying to say for Wood Warrington.
It's
that's
not like if Dalton and Adam Azim fought
right
now. If
exactly.
they fought right now, the loser, you'd be going, right, what's the rebuild plan? Where are we going next?
Yeah.
Whereas, yeah, with AJ and Fury or with Warrington, it's goodbye, really.
And with AJ Fury, this is the only sticking point for me is because with the heavyweights, with Turkey and Riyadh season and all this stuff, there's and the fans behind it, there's so much commercial value underneath. Well, for like, let's say, arguably, so Fury beats Makhmudov, then we've got Dubois Wardley, right? And he fights the winner. Now he's got a belt, okay? If he wins, which is a very big if, by the way, because I know everyone. So I know
That's
Fury,
crazy, by the way.
But
this is what we're having. This conversation is crazy. The heavyweight division is on fire.
Nuts,
unbelievable.
Nuts.
That. I know we're going all over the place here, but that Dubois and Wardley announcement, I don't know if I can remember many people being more excited about that.
No, it's crazy.
Like, it is. My phone was going mental.
And the weird part about that one for me is, under the radar, I was wrong. But at one point in time, that fight would have been like, oh my days, we've made that fight. And don't get me wrong, it is still super exciting, but it's in amongst another mix of just all, because again, we've been spoiled. There's just so much going on.
Well, Uncle Frank keeps saying, all the fights are going to happen.
All the fights are going to happen.
But at the beginning of the year, people were saying to me, what fights would you love to see this year? And one of the ones that I would say was Wardley and Dubois, but thinking it's not going to happen.
It's not going to, but
because I thought they wouldn't risk their king, Wardley, and someone who they're always going to try and push into a good position.
Yeah.
So I thought they're not going to risk that, and they've done it. I couldn't believe it.
I don't know who. I actually don't know who wins that fight.
I think it is such a 50-50 fight. It's so hard to pick. I think without a doubt, Dubois is the better boxer. He's very textbook boxer. Like if you literally was going to take the AIBA, well, it's not AIBA anymore, the world boxing textbook how to box, it's like Dubois.
Jab this, move here, do that,
and he can punch. His jab is like a ramrod. People that spar him say that his jab is like a backhand. Unbelievable. But I just think Wardley's ability he's got that feral kind of instinct of he is actually better when he's hurt and when he's under pressure. Not many people have that. Like Nigel Benn had that. Whereas Wardley, Dubois is almost the opposite. And I really hate saying this, but when he's under pressure, he buckles. I'm not going to use the Q word because I hate it when people throw that around. But when he's under pressure, he doesn't handle it very well. Wardley is the polar opposite. Put that man under pressure.
Yeah.
Put that man under pressure because he's going to be better.
I think with Wardley as well, I've consistently underestimated him. Because I go back and I go, okay, so I remember when I watched him fight, I'm pretty sure it was the British, it wasn't the English, I'm pretty sure it was the British when he fought Nathan Gorman, right? A few years ago. And I watched him and he was hurting Gorman all the time. But I remember watching him getting caught because Wardley gets hit, right? And he's got a lot better. He's improved so much. I think that's remember what we said about when you're learning on a job, you see huge improvements, right? He has improved. You go back and watch that Gorman fight to now, he's a different fighter. He's got that trademark. He's got that trademark bend fainting going on. He shoots though he does it. He's picked up so much and learned a lot and changed a lot. But when I watched that Gorman fight, and I think back to it, I was like, wow, like you were getting hurt, and this. It was one of the best fights. I watched that fight a lot. I loved that fight. It's so entertaining, right? And then from then on, every time he stepped up a level, I was like, yeah, but... And I always use that as a benchmark. I'll go, yeah, I mean, I know he knocked out Gorman, but he got hurt against Gorman. There was some sticky moments in there. And I kept doing it, kept saying it, keeps winning. And when he got to Justice Hooney, weirdly, I felt like the narrative was the other way around, that Wardley's going to knock this guy out. And I think
people didn't know who Hooney was.
And that was the problem, because I was sat there and I was having this debate with some of my mates, some of the diversity boys, and we're there. And they were like, yeah, well, like Wardley, you know, he's in his home stadium, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. This is like a big homecoming. And I said...
all the factors that don't really matter.
Right, and I said, boys, this is going to be a tough fight. For Wardley as well, especially for the way that Hooney fights, this is going to be difficult.
Completely the opposite to Gerald Miller.
This is going to be
completely the opposite.
Really difficult. Oh, yeah, and I forget it was a last-minute replacement as well. So I'm like, this is not going to be easy for him.
Yeah.
And then, you know, point proved. But then you get to that moment and you go... fucking hell, how does he do it? Like, he pulled that shot out of nowhere, slipped off the line, stepped back, boom, and it was just
for
like,
me, it is
how?
mad because I'm always going to back the person who's got a good amateur pedigree.
Yeah.
Like, you'll hear me raving about it all the time. People get bored of it, how much I think an amateur pedigree is so important. So, yeah, I've been similar with Wardley all along. Been like, oh, yeah, but, lacks, especially when he fought Fraser.
Yeah.
Fraser's my friend as well, so that was a double whammy. But the fact that Fraser has such an incredible amateur pedigree, I was always like, no, it's not going to happen. It cannot happen. It's impossible. And then he just keeps proving everyone wrong.
It's when I say annoying, it's annoying for me because I'm like, well, I keep sitting there going, I'm not sure, I'm worried about it. When I meet Fabio, I think he's one of the nicest. Like, I've had the privilege of meeting him a few times. He's a lovely guy, very funny, really cool, down to earth, just likes fighting, likes boxing. Even in his interviews, he's just funny. Do you know what I mean? You go, like, he's a cool guy.
But I think there's something quite scary about him because
it's that switch. I think is
so
scary.
Normal.
That's my point.
And then actually you're a freak in that ring.
Right.
I always used to think about it was like at clubs. Not that I ever go to clubs often. I don't get it wrong. But you'd see these doormen that were like the most chilled guys and
really
didn't look dangerous. And then they're throwing someone out by their ear rolls. Like just that switch. Do you know what I mean? He's got that, and it's like when you get these fighters that are always angry. It's kind of like, oh, well, you're always angry. I'm kind of numb to it now. That's you all the time. But no. He's like the nicest guy. He's a family guy. He's funny. He's chilled. He's kind. But you're an animal. And that's the thing. I think that is the scary part. So going full circle, I think Tyson Makhmudov, personally, I think it's, Tyson's going to win that fight. I think Tyson's going to ping his head off. I think he's going to find him so easy to hit. And don't get me wrong, Tyson is not the same Tyson from, the Wilder fights.
Yeah. He's
not going to dance around the ring. He doesn't do that anymore. But I think he can still hold his feet a bit more like he does and move his upper body. And that's how he's going to make him miss. And I also think Makhmudov's only gone 12 round once, and that was with Dave Allen. Okay. And in the later part of that fight, Dave was like...
He was coming on strong. Yeah, was it the end of round 9 when he had that burst, and I thought, he might stop him. He actually might do it here. Yeah. What's the deal with Tyson? And because I saw some clip of him saying, because he says crazy stuff all the time about how he's training himself and this and that. Is Sugar Hill out that camp?
I don't know. I don't think it was like, I've given Sugar Hill the elbow, because it looks like, as far as I could see from not long ago, they've still got a good relationship.
Yeah.
But I just think that's another Tyson thing. Like, he's like, no one can teach me anything. So I have no idea. Me personally, I don't like. For example, Carl Froch again. I thought he did really well on the broadcast. I thought he basically said, it wouldn't matter if I had 100 fights. I always needed my coach. I always needed Rob to tell me, do this. He's doing that, so you need to do this.
Yes.
And that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
But then Tyson obviously doesn't feel that way about it.
I think it's on a very different scale. I've never had one flipping fight, but even when I'm sparring in this and that, if I go to another gym without my coach, without a second set of eyes to sort of sit with you and go, look, this is what's happening.
You feel alone.
I think you're in a weird way. You can be almost too close to the fight. Obviously, you're the one who's physically fighting, but I do find you can be in that position when you are too close to the fight, and that can then sort of set you up in this weird way where you don't. You don't see what other people are seeing.
It's a second set of eyes.
Yeah,
that's
literally, you just don't see what other. And then when someone says it to you, like, "Oh, well, you tried," oh, that worked. And you always see. I've seen it on 1,000 coaches' faces when I've been in different gyms and stuff, when like they come back to the corner and say, "I fucking told you," and you're like, "Yeah, you're right. Yeah." Like, you just need that sometimes.
He described it really well, and I think I'm pretty sure it was this team, and I think. Yeah, they kind of take it to another level. It's Ben Davison and Leigh Wiley.
Yeah.
So they will literally say. One of them will be looking at the lead hand. The other one will be looking at the feet. The other one will be counting how many times he throws that off of that shot.
Oh, wow.
Because you can't watch everything all at the same time.
No, yeah.
So, I mean, they take it to another level. But yeah, but even, it's not just that. It's, the coach, for me, covers so many different things. It's like, are you going to get up at 5 o'clock and go for your run without a coach on your back? Maybe you will. I don't know. Are you going to not eat that slice of toast on the side?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Like all of these little things. I don't know. For me, I just think a coach is such a vital aspect of your whole life as a fighter, not just those 60 seconds in between.
Do you think it's different for certain fighters who are, when I say borderline freaks, like a Fury? There are other ones out there where they are natural fighters and they are naturally gifted, and I know that. Sometimes I don't really like that, because I'm like, what does that mean? Obviously, it's been nurtured and certain things have happened, and that's why they've developed the way they have. But Fury, of course, he has game plans and stuff, but as opposed to other people and other coaches where they're like, this is what we're going to do, this is the plan. If they throw this shot, you do that. From round 2 to 4, we do this, and there's solid game plan. You could write it out in a textbook. There it is. Fury strikes me way more as a person is, this is what the person kind of does. We know what your strengths are, and he's going to naturally go in there and move and do what he does and see what happens. I'm not sure. I guess it depends on who the fighter is. But is there ever a danger in being too analytical? Because if you take a Ben Davidson and Leigh Wardley, like super analytical, and then you take other people who are, like I said, like a Tyson Fury-esque, Sugar Hill-esque kind of thing, where it's a bit more go with the flow and we'll see how the fight unfolds. I think that, well, I guess I'm answering my own question. You have to be the right fighter to be with the right coach. Because
100%.
I'm not sure. I feel like Ben Davison has got, I know him and Fury used to work together, but as time's gone on, they've got even more analytical and even more like boom, boom, boom. And I'm not sure that fits with certain people who are a bit more free-flowing or one-dimensional. Yeah, a bit more reactive.
You know what? I think you make a really good point about the coach having some match with the fighter, but something I can't get out of my head is that second fight with Usyk.
Yeah.
And how, for me, the game plan was all wrong on Fury's side. So, and again, this is all hindsight. Like it's so easy to sit back however long after a fight and go, oh, he should have done this. You know, but what would have happened if there was someone in that corner and said, you need to put it on him, and you need to put it on him now? Or even not put it on him, but just like, you need to take the tempo up a little bit, start pushing the tempo with your feet. I don't know, but I just think, for me, these are very important. Every fight is an important fight, but you've only got a few fights left. You're 37. And I know he was talking about Archie Moore, and he come back and he fought when he was this old and all the rest of it.
Yes, Duran as well.
Duran was fighting in world-class fights when he was 50. Yeah, but he wasn't at his best when he was 50.
And he lost, I'm pretty sure
and
he lost. Yeah.
So, I don't know, just get a coach.
Yeah.
I love Andy Leigh. I think Andy Leigh is one of the best people in boxing as a broadcaster, as a coach, as a fighter. I would have that man in my corner 100 days. 100 days? 100 times over.
Yeah.
Just get that man in your corner. Because for me, like I said, there are so many different aspects to being a coach. It's not just your eyes. What are they seeing? It's the communication. It's about knowing when to be analytical. He's doing this, so you need to do this. It's about knowing when to light a fire under their arse.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Andy Leigh can do really well. But Tyson's going to do what Tyson wants to do.
Okay, well...
And also, maybe he's thinking, Makhmudov's not. He's not on my level. I can do this on my own.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he gets somebody else who is a bit more of a threat, then he'll bring in help.
And I'm just hoping that, even though, I hope it comes with a quiet sense of confidence and not complacency, because he was definitely complacent with Ngannou, and that's when disaster really struck. Because could you just imagine if he didn't get up from that left hook or whatever? Like, I don't even want to. It's not even worth thinking about, because if that would have happened, that would have really.
Yeah, you know what? It's weird how people see things, because somebody said again in the presser, somebody said, "Oh, who's got more pressure on their shoulders?" And I thought, obviously Fury.
Yeah. Like
obviously Fury.
I remember? Was it? And I think it might have been Lennox who said, "Oh, they both got pressure."
Yeah,
I went, "Yeah, I mean, to an extent, but even in Makhmudov's head, he must have look. I'm getting probably my career high payday here. It is Tyson Fury." As much as people go, oh, he's big and he can punch, deep down, if I gave everyone in this room £1 million and said, put it on one of us, no one's putting it on Makhmudov.
No one. Even, like I said, even Makhmudov is going around saying he's a legend, he's a legend, he's a legend.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's setting him up to be, it's okay if I lose. But, I mean, I'm still looking forward to it.
No, it's going to be a great fight. I think it's going to be a great fight, and I think it's going to be good because we know that hopefully we'll get a performance. Just based on that as well, I think Makhmudov's got the style to make Fury look like older Fury as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think it's brilliant matchmaking.
It's really good matchmaking. Yeah. So I think we're going to get a good performance there. The heavyweight division is on fire. We're going to see what happens after, and whatever fights go on, and good times. But moving back to lighter weights, obviously, it's that super feather Wood Warrington this time, isn't it?
Super feather, yeah. They're obviously not. This is, again, it's another thing that indicates this is a goodbye fight. Yes. Why kill yourself for a fight that's at the end of your career and, there's no titles on the line?
I think, if anything as well, that favours Leigh Wood a bit more, because he is a naturally bigger dude. And every time, I mean, I'm sure you've worked on some of the broadcasts and seen him, or even if you haven't been like there working, you just know. Leigh Wood making weight is one of the scariest things I've ever seen. The guy looked... Again, I say this all the time. One of the nicest people as well. Lovely guy. Even he has like members of his family who work on his team, doing like the ticketing, managing him, stuff like that. All such lovely people. But I remember for their first fight, I did the weigh-in. I was hosting the weigh-in. And I'm pretty sure that's the time when, I think for the 8th time, Billy Joe Saunders announced he was coming back, and they brought him up, and we had a little interview, and we was chatting to him about him coming back. He was like, yeah, within the next few months, I'm going to be there. I think I might have one bout at 175 at light heavy, and then I'll be back at super middle. And I remember thinking, I don't know about that, buddy. Like 175 in a couple months, like, don't get me wrong, you earned your Canelo money, you're a legend, ex-world champion, you've earned the right to do whatever you want. But in about 12 weeks, making 175 ain't going to happen. Do you know what I mean? When you look at it, I was like, I'm not sure. But anyway, on the subject of weight, afterwards, they were like, okay, we're going to get Leigh up to do an interview after he just made weight. Oof. And I was watching him from the scales, and I remember thinking, please don't drag this guy up here to do an interview. Like, this guy needs a Lucasade and a flipping cake immediately. Like he needs to start refueling, mate. He needs something immediately.
Yeah.
And he didn't end up coming up to do the interview. No. Like he was like, no, like if it was all right, like he just skipped out and went back. So I think that it being the extra few pound, I think if it's going to favour anyone. Well, when I say favour, hopefully it just means he's not killing himself as much. But when you've been out the ring that long, even getting down to super feather might be a bit of a struggle. Do you know what I mean?
It is crazy how much harder it gets when you get older to make weight.
Yeah.
I can testify to that. It's like, and it's just there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Obviously, it helps if you live the life all year round, but even then, your body just wants to hold on to that little bit of extra weight. Yeah. But you know what? This one is a real 50-50. I've heard lots of different arguments on either side, and I don't really want to choose, to be honest. No.
For me, with Wood Warrington, right? I find the mindset around it weird because at the end of...
Did you see the promo?
The promo was incredible.
One of the best promos.
That's one thing you've got to tip your hat off to Riyadh season and Turkey for as well. Because even though obviously that was...
They kicked it off.
They kicked off these insane promos, even though they kind of stopped doing them as much now.
They've stopped... Well, they didn't do one for Shakur or Tio, and I thought this was the perfect fight to do
really good one.
Yeah. Matchroom are doing such a good job of all their content.
They're smashing it, man. It's so good. It's wicked to see, and it's annoying because part of me goes, I'm like, look, it was sold out a few weeks ago before. It was sold out way before this even dropped.
Yeah.
I know, obviously, you want to do it for the broadcast. I'm not sure how much traction it got, but just for fans watching, you go, you guys really pushed the boat out. I think it's wicked to see. Do you know what I mean? I really enjoy it. But I'm just curious to see where the mindset's at, because obviously with Warrington, right? Because I thought, like most people did, he retired after the Kakache fight. Put the gloves on the thing, and that's kind of like... That's
the thing, yeah.
And there's a picture of him standing behind the gloves like this. I was like, oh, is this it? Is it not? And then he never quite said it. Then he's come back and he's had like that fight in between, right? Like, was it like an 8 round or a 10 round or something like that?
It was an 8 or 10 rounder.
10 rounder.
Which was weird seeing someone like that in an 8 or 10 rounder.
Really
you just
weird.
Don't expect to see it.
Even when just like when AJ fought Jake Paul, seeing that in the thing at the bottom, like 8 rounds, like that's so odd to see. But yeah, and now obviously he's got this Leigh Wood fight. I'm curious as to whether, I don't know. I just don't know. That fighting at 100 miles an hour, the accumulation of punches, the swarming people. I'm like, because look, he had his, and he was on top in that fight when he went in Wood Warrington won. So, you know, can it happen? Can he do it again? Another, what is it, 2.5 years, 3 years on?
I think you only get a certain amount of those. This is the thing, and similar to Wardley. Like, how many times are you going to be down on the card and then knock somebody out? Like, how many times are you going to pull this? Yeah. That's
the thing. But it's annoying because I think nine times out of 10, I've said, oh, can you pull this out the bag? Even all the way back to when he stopped. Oh, I'm so sorry for getting this wrong. Zucan or Kanzu. I've heard people do it either way when he won it. Because that was in Matchroom Square Gardens, wasn't it? Yeah, Zoo. Right. When he won then, I was like, okay, yeah, big shot. And every time he's gone forward and forward and forward, and he loses and he rematches and he wins and and I just don't know. I like you said, it's such a 50-50. Wood could pull it out of the bag and stop him like he did before, or we might get that last bit of magic from Josh Warrington, and it's the last fight, 35 years old, everything into it, and we get that last little bit of him that's still there, and he can pull it off. I don't know.
But don't you think this is kind of part of what makes boxing so special? Because can you imagine any other sport where it's like, they're definitely past their best, there's no titles on the line, but we're going to bring them back and they're going to go
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly.
Like, right, we're going to bring back... Sorry, my knowledge on any other sport is terrible, so
Same here,
bear with
yeah.
me. But we're just going to bring back Federer and Nadal and they're just going to have a game.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't happen.
Just embarrassing for a good 5 6 hours to stare at you going, I don't know what sport she's talking about. I was tennis.
Cricket,
No, for a second I went, I don't want to say tennis and then it's wrong. I was getting really scared.
Yeah, no.
But no, you're 100% right.
It's just the nostalgia, the rivalry, the what if, all the grey areas. I find all the grey areas, they're what make boxing so special. Like, no title on the line as well. Sometimes those are the best fights.
And I think as well, the chief support is good. It's Ishmael Davis and
That's really good.
Bilal Fawaz,
Yeah,
right?
I'm so interested to see what happens in that fight.
I love Fawaz just for the fact that his character and the way he acts, I just think it's... Because obviously he's got an incredible backstory and, you know, really sad, and he's come through and he's done all this and he's fought tooth and nail to even be where he is, and that's incredible. But just him as a person, like even his reaction when he beat Junaid Boston and he was standing like, oh, but
like
no,
he
you've
said
won.
he didn't hear.
Yeah, he was like, what?
What? Listen.
They're announcing the result. It was like in his head he'd already like resigned to, I haven't won it.
That guy, honestly, it's again another incredible thing about boxing. We were on the amateur scene together, so I feel like this guy. How old are you? You've got to be like 50 years old by now.
Yeah.
But he was an incredible amateur. Always been a really nice guy. Always been a real tricky. I mean, I would not want to be in the opposite corner in terms of like, how do you beat this guy?
Yeah.
Because he's got so many different styles to show you. But that's why I'm so intrigued to see what happens. It's like, if he is as good as he says he is, Davies is going to show him, ask those questions of him. You know, he's gonna really. We're going to really see if he's as good as he says he is.
But then with Ishmael as well, I'm like flipping hell.
He's been so busy.
So active.
He's been so busy, and I don't know if
so active.
That sort of busyness. I don't know if it's actually a good thing. Like, all fighters say, they want to be busy.
I want to go on BoxRec. I actually want to look how many fights he's had.
Honestly, he's been so busy, and this is the thing. A lot of fighters and coaches say you want your fighters to be busy, and yeah, you do. But it also gets to a point where it's like, can you even have a real camp at this point?
Yeah, no, this is my point. Because I know he fought... I think it's got to be... Here we go, get him now. But he's got to have had at least... This is going to be, full fight in 6 months maybe? Something like that?
I think it's even less than that. I think he's been basically having a fight a month.
Here we go. Jesus. All right, here we go. So September 25. So that's 5 months ago, had Yarko. And that was... 1, 2, 3. This is his full fight in 5 months. Sweet Lord.
I mean, the guy is an absolute machine.
Yeah, he just keeps going and going.
Someone like that, you've got to say he deserves all the opportunities he gets. Like, he really does. But some amateurs don't even fight that much.
That's what I'm saying. 4 fights in 5 months. And, like, they're... Obviously, Sam Gilly, that was it was a little bit of a war. You had the Sam Gilly fight. Elliot before that. Kevin Agyarko as well. That was, again, a war. Jeez, he's been in.
The good thing is he will be flying high of confidence after the Sam Gilly fight.
Yeah.
And he will have learned loads off of Agyarko.
Yeah.
But I just hope that he's kind of not worn himself down.
Yeah.
Because it's not just the fights either, it's the training camps. The training camps so much out of you, especially if you're not having those weeks in between. Some fighters have months in between.
To rest and recover. Yeah, I think that's going to be a good fight as well. Just on a side note, I don't know if you saw that with Agyarko, with Kevin. They've announced that he's got like some final eliminator on some random thing. Did you see that? I was like,
no, I haven't seen that.
I'm not sure who it's like. I'm not sure who it's against or what. It's definitely in America, but it wasn't on like any. I didn't recognise any of the. I didn't recognise any of the promoters or anything on it. I was like, that was really random. And I thought after like a big win against Ish, I was like, oh, but maybe it was like a purse bid for a fight. I don't know. Maybe it was like a little final eliminator situation.
There are so many mad little fights happening though, because I went on to I should know the website's name because I go onto it quite a lot, but to look at the boxing schedule. And obviously we know all of the big ones that are happening, but there's all these tiny little ones that you just don't hear about happening in the arse end of wherever. Yeah. But yeah.
Even the fact that like Xander Zayas fought, like when Josh Kelly fought, it was just, no one knew. It just happened. Just been and gone.
And everyone should know because he's so
he's
great.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, so another big fight this weekend then, Garcia, Barios. I think, I don't know why, and I know for a fact, as someone who loves the sport, I'm laughing already, who loves the sport and wants everyone to take it seriously. I just find Garcia one of the funniest people when I watch him at like press conferences, this and that, because I'm like, I can see why, one, you rub people up the wrong way for sure, but at the same time, why you have the following you do. You look a certain way, you talk and act a certain way, you got a confidence, you're entertaining, and I don't know, the last fight with Wardley wasn't brilliant, but generally, you fight entertaining as well. So I can see why he is the way he is. I'm curious. I love the fact that everyone's just written off Barrios. Like, it's just... People talk about him like he's not a world champion. Like, they go, you know, well, clearly that's the weakest world champion out. I'm like, flipping hell, like, he's still a world champion, guys. I give him some respect. Everyone just goes in on him. Do you know what I mean?
It's another fight where it's just such a weird one and so many grey areas to the point where I don't like that. Like, for example, I don't like the fact that Garcia is now in a world title fight, considering he's coming off a loss. Yeah. The fight before that, he missed weight and tested positive. Like, what are we doing here? Yeah. By the way, WBC, you need to get some better PR. Mauricio, stop doing interviews, mate.
Yeah, stop. It's not going well for him, is it? It's not going well. And even stripping, like the whole thing with Shakur. This is the hard point, right? Because you see, obviously, stripping Shakur because he wouldn't pay that $100,000 sanction fee, for a fight that was at a different weight to his belt and wasn't sanctioned by the WBC. I understand it, but if the rules are the rules, and when you sign up to the WBC, if you don't read the rules, that's on you, right? I will say that. I don't agree with that rule, but the rule is the rule. If they had been in a better position from a PR perspective, everyone would probably take that stance. They'd go, look, I think it's absolutely ridiculous, but Shakur signed up. It's all the stuff around it and moving the goalposts to certain people. Then you can't go, oh, by the way, now we want 100. I'm like, no, you can't be moving goalposts 24/7, changing stuff constantly. And then when you want to stipulate the rules and be a stickler for it, now the rules say this. I'm like, well, do the rules say that you can fail a test and then go straight in and then lose your last fight? And now I'm like, how does this make any sense?
Honestly, there are so many things when it comes. First of all, I want the WBC to succeed. Let me just say that. Yeah. I think that belt, everyone knows, if you love boxing, everyone talks about the green and gold belt. Yeah. It's the one that Muhammad Ali had. It's the one that Sugar Ray Leonard had. It's the one that Marvin Hagler had. It is an iconic belt. I want it to do well. And again, let's be real. There's a war going on in boxing right now.
Yeah.
They are now their own worst enemy. They are doing Zuffa's job for them. Let's take it back to Crawford. Whether you agree or disagree with what Crawford did in terms of not paying the sanctioning fees, I get people saying, ultimately, if he wanted to be undisputed, and we made such a big thing about that fight being undisputed, but then he, after becoming undisputed, said, I don't care about the WBC. Yeah, fine. That makes sense. However, from a PR perspective, why are you then coming out and bad-mouthing Crawford, who is now one of the most beloved figures in boxing?
Him. Yeah.
And you're coming out and being like, he didn't apologise, blah, 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 blah. Chill. Sit back, let him get on with it. Give the man his flowers. He's now retiring. Like, you should want to claim him as one of your own and build a good relationship with him. Don't burn bridges at this point. You are in no position to be burning bridges. And now you've done something really similar with Shakur. Yes, it's a different situation in terms of the WBC belt wasn't on the line. But that rule, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think the actual rule is you pay something like, I want to say 3%, that might be wrong, which turned out to be 120 grand or something like that, even if the belt isn't on the line. And how somebody described it to me was, it's like a holding fee for you to be able to come back down and defend your blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Sorry. And they keep going on about it's the rules. Just because it's the rule, don't make it a right rule. And if your company, your business is under fire and in trouble, get rid of all your shit rules.
Yeah,
that is a rubbish rule. Every big name in the sport, whether it's Shakur, whether it's Tank, whether it's Bivol, all of these big names that are beloved, you should be cherishing them and building relationships and building bridges. And then he did an interview with Chris Mannix, who did an amazing job with him. But I almost thought he was quite nice to Mauricio, because there were some points where I just thought, you are deluded.
Yeah, you're waffling.
Like, you have put yourself and your company on such a pedestal that you think you can do whatever you want. Chris was basically questioning about, why is Conor Benn in this position? Why is Garcia in this
He was
position.
asking him
He was
we all want to know.
literally,
He was asking, okay.
Yeah, he was asking all the right questions. And Mauricio, to kind of like, long story short, Mauricio was basically saying, well, we've got a good relationship with those fighters.
And can I just chuck this out there, right? Boxing fans aren't stupid. We're aware that if you generate a lot of money and you're super popular and you've got an entertaining style, you'll probably be moved to certain positions. We're not stupid. We understand that. But I know you can't come out and just go, well, that's what we're going to do. But I'm like, if you're going to do stuff like that, no problem, do it. But then don't be a stickler and enforce other rules that just are stupid.
Well, this is the thing. He was going on about that's the rules, that's the rule when talking about Shakur paying that fee. And then it was like, Chris asked, did Canelo have to pay that fee when he moved up? And it was like, Mauricio was like, oh, well, I can't remember off my head, but I'm sure he paid something. And it's like,
God, so awkward.
Yeah, Mannix, that was honestly, you know when you see, oh, he's a real journalist.
Yeah.
It was a brilliant interview. But WBC, please get someone in to help you with your PR. Yeah. Like, honestly, because at this point, you are literally doing Zuffa's job for you. For them, sorry.
And I think this is the reason why we all love boxing though, right? Because there's not another, to the level of, like, the equivalent is, I don't know, the head of flipping FIFA standing there and being absolutely gunned with questions that he's got no answers to apart from, oh, this looks bad, and being left in the wilderness. That wouldn't happen in football, but in boxing, you have the equivalent of it's funny to me that someone with a phone can get an accreditation, stand there and go to Eddie Hearn or Maurizio Sullivan, why have you done that then? I think that it should be, and they have to answer. Yeah. Like, and there's so much access, and I think that's why we love it. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I think Ryan Garcia, as much as I said, I think we need to put some more respect on Barrios. I do think he wins.
Barrios or Garcia?
Garcia. Depending on what one turns up.
That's the problem, isn't it? It's depending on what one turns up.
And everyone's like, he looks in incredible shape. He does look in incredible shape. I saw there was that little thing where he missed I saw that, and I was like, here we go. A weight check-in, and I went, please don't start. But then he posted his own thing after saying he was already he was only like £3 over, so like he was going to be fine. And I was like, okay, cool. Regardless, look, there's always drama, right? I think if Garcia wins, let's just say, let's go with the narrative. What's that? What did you say?
Conor Benn.
You think Conor Benn? Do you think Conor goes straight into that, or do you think he fights Rowley first? And then I know we kind of had this
straight into
before.
the title fight. You go straight in, because what happens? The thing is with Conor at the moment. Let's be real. You can be the biggest Conor fan or not. We still don't really know where he's at. Why
on
risk?
That level?
Yeah, at that elite level.
And that weight.
Why risk the Rowley fight with no title up for grabs when you can go straight for the Garcia fight?
Does he have the WBA title or not?
Who?
Rowley. Does he have that? Because when did he get elevated? Because he had because I know he hasn't defended the full title, but didn't he get elevated after? Well,
I remember seeing a poster. I reposted it on my Instagram. I remember seeing a poster before his fight with Garcia, and then there was something about the WBA title on it. I thought, this is ridiculous.
Regardless, you think he should go straight for Garcia?
And he wants a WBC. He's very open about that. He wants the one that his dad had. Makes sense. Go straight for it. Don't waste any time, because what if you go for that Rowley fight and then you don't win? And then what? You've got to go somewhere else. Like, you're not surely, I mean, we don't know of the WBC, but surely you're not going to come off a loss to Rowley and then go into the Garcia fight. No. So go for that. And also, can you imagine the build-up?
Oh, it'd be insane.
And Garcia.
It'd be insane.
Incredible.
But that's the only thing that worries me with Garcia is he is a little bit of a liability. Sounds is strong.
No, he is a liability.
Like you don't know. So he could have this fight. If he loses, cool, you've got Barios. But if he wins, you don't know. Like, he could win and go, I'm focused, to now go, I want unifications, more money, big fights. So he could go, I've won, I've finally got a WBC title, I'm earning this much here, and here, and go off the rep. You actually just don't know.
Yeah.
With a lot of fights, you go, oh, this is going to be the start for them to really skyrocket. I don't know with Garcia. And that's what worries me for Conor.
That's one of the things that I'm like, me personally as a fan, and this is an individual thing, but I don't like it when there's always something. There's always something with you. There's like always something going on. Like, Like, I read something saying basically all of his excuses for losing against Rowley, apparently he went into the camp and he was injured or something, I don't know. And I was just like, but this is the thing, it becomes the boy who cried wolf. There is always something.
And I think as well, which is funny for most fighters, because maybe some fighters aren't as outward facing in terms of personal issues or injuries, or they're very much, they come up, you see them on fight week, they do their fight, there's a little few interviews after, and then that's it. You don't see from them until they announce the next fight. There's some fighters like that. I don't know many fighters who go into a camp, who especially like are training pretty consistently year round, who go into camp and don't have some form of injury, some issue going on, whether it be managerial, financial, at home. Like, life is life. Just because you're a boxer.
I mean, look at Ortiz. He's trying to get a restraining order on Oscar De La Hoya.
Do you know what I mean? Like, all these things. I think life in general just affects everyone, right?
Yeah.
So I think most boxers go into camps and this and that, trying to sort that out. And I think that's kind of what's difficult. If that's what's coming out all the time, it's like, I hear it. Look, life's hard. I understand that. And this is your job, and I understand again that this isn't a normal job, and it takes way more than what a lot of people can ever give. But at the same time, this is what you signed up for. This is what you're doing. So it kind of, they are excuses. Of course, there are certain things where you go, look, that's obviously going to have an effect. Fair enough, like life-altering situations. But on the whole, if every single time you're fighting, there's a but this, it makes you go, oh shit, man, like you just don't know what's going to happen. And that's, I'm for the hype as a fan. And to see where we can go in the welterweight division.
That is a press conference that I can get into, by the way.
That's my point.
Like we were just saying about press conferences. Are they good? Are they not? Who really watches them? Every now and then you get a press conference and it's like, yeah. Like, do you remember the one with Chris Eubank Jr.?
Yeah.
Where he called everyone a scumbag. A press conference between Conor Benn and Garcia, I can get behind it.
100%. So, final prediction then. Are you saying Garcia win? Do you reckon?
I am, but with zero confidence.
Yeah, that's what.
With zero confidence. Like, when I say that, I'm thinking about the Garcia that beat Luke Campbell.
Yeah.
But does that guy exist anymore? I don't know.
And I'm saying it. I think I'm being affected by the what if and the plans and the this could happen and this could open up. And as we all know in boxing, so frequently that stuff just goes out the window. So fingers crossed, because this is no hate on Barios. Wicked. Reigning champ, done your thing. Reigning
champ, though, his last 2 fights were a draw.
Oh, okay, well.
Is that right? Have I got that right?
Well, yeah, he definitely drew a Pacquiao, didn't he?
I'm pretty sure his fight before that was a draw, wasn't it?
Jesus. Okay. Well, maybe there is some credence in what people were saying about him not being the best world champ. Yeah, look, Garcia, I hope he wins, and I hope we see that whatever unfolds between him, Ben, and that welterweight division, Warrington too. I think it's going to be a wicked night this weekend, and fingers crossed. Again, everything. So much of what we spoke about, apart from Warrington, has been who's meant to win and the plans that come after. Even with Fury, so we'll see what happens there. Obviously, when is that fight? Is that May or is it
Fury?
April? Yeah,
8th of May, I think.
8th of May. Okay, so we've got a good couple of months till that as well. So we'll talk more about that as we get closer and more stuff comes out. But great stuff in boxing, man.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
See you later, guys.